Okay, welcome back. I'm Cappadocia. Welcome back to Rogue Trader. We're carrying on pretty much where we left off. I accidentally just clicked on the thing and I've managed to find something in the way that's attacking me. We've only moved a little bit. Oh.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance. Compared to your ship is a boundless world of unfamiliar hues. And yet, the abundance of bright colors can at times be wearisome on the eyes. The bridge and the decks are so clamorous. In my search for a place of quiet, I was fortunate to come upon this islet of serenity filled with rare tomes and practically devoid of color.
I see you off on the reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
Cassia gently brushes off the dust cover with her thin clawed hand, her eyes filled with longing after reminiscing about lost time. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orcelia, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
I hope your powers have had ample time to calm yourself and your pals.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting.
No. You intend that it's your valet from Urak. Do my sons not measure up to your standards?
No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Cassie cringes ever so slightly, adjusts the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes the topic of gossip among lowly servants and officers alike. It's unsurprising that Cassie prefers to accompany one who's used to how she looks.
Lord Captain, could you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying? You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I. I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
We have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad. It's just natural to share them with others.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So, why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... My delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing. Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so private. Why did they all leave?
Perhaps my people did not wish to disturb you.
Or because my presence offends them? Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
Right, do we have anything else we can do on board the sheep? To the bridge. Come on, load your damn thing. Here we are. Is there anything on here I might want to do? Cassia, Voxmaster, Abelard.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Let's get back to the map. I think we're going to go... Yeah, that's how far we've travelled. Like I said, I actually clicked over here obviously when I was loaded back in, but then we'll go to... Let's head down to this one here, and then we'll hit the void ship, see what that is, and then we'll go over here. It's Panamanian and understand the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Westarian's voice. Okay. Didn't manage to make it to the prison planetoid, but never mind. Giant spinny chair. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quell under the onslaught of her spirit's anger. She falters as managed to continue. I apologise, sir, but I must speak with the Lord Captain. Okay. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I've already seen you fit to disturb him. Your unauthorised appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a higher ranking officer will be logged in your personnel file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avirula Vent requesting permission to speak on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. That's what you have to say. Speak. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought drastic times called for drastic measures. This matter cannot wait any minute now. An assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. I'm convinced that this step is unwarranted, and the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Abelard no home to intervene. Let's add a sceptical huff. He glances at Salbach, who is standing not far from him, but she remains a stony expression. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Westarian and to intervene on what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we may have a mutiny or massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words. No, although she knows them by heart. She could have been preparing to sail in for some time when she finished class and extra class at Abelard. This actually make of ship. No one has informed me. I would not deem it a problem worthy of the road traders' attention. The lower decks, as it happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader ride up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order. But even 8 years later, we are still battling rumours that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Needless to say, the rumours were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo of 100 bolters. I'm sure that if the road trader addresses the Malcontents directly, he could quell the unrest. I dread to think the problem you will disturb the road trader with next. Perhaps you'll ask the Lord Captain to break up rules in the mess room. I've already given the means to resolve the problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your lordship, sending a hit squad to crush a rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. So how did this all start? Situation could boil over any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. Reported it up the chain of command immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between officers to the head. So where does Seneschal come into this? I shall explain. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. I've always handled internal problems myself, so of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valentius will find refuge on her ship. You are far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Westerian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments of entire sectors have driven people to the brink. Now there's a strike in the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was order to dispatch an assault unit and crush to strike maximum force. What is Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors in the lower decks. It's home to clans of general labourers. They're not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialised systems for generations. They're an easily replaceable resource, one which is now more besides giving succour to cultists and minions of the arch enemy. Depot 4 is for in trouble, but worse, that means drunken fights and illegal rock gut brewing. We've handled workers in Depot 4 in the past, and we should have done so again. If the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh, and another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It's located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens has a knock-on effect on the labouring sectors. Master at Arms, the ship's enforcers report to you, and yet you seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Lord Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realise it's not within my right to challenge my superiors. That being said, while I entirely share Master Westerian's opinion on what fate Depot 4 deserves, I must note that this insubordination is a direct consequence of the practices that he himself has introduced. Mr. Salvax even decided to follow the Lieutenant's example. Such behaviour is actually no credit. Do you wish to respond? Mr. Salvax, on your qualification where I encourage officers to spare their superior, one word overrule their order, or show favouritism for those who merited none. None, Seneschal. There have been no such cases in the entire time I've served aboard this ship. If anyone was to claim otherwise, I would have them pay for insulting your honour with blood. Your conduct in this regard has been spotless. Nonetheless, given your eminent position, a simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the propriety of a junior officer, inflate their sense of self-importance, and undermine discipline. That you distinguish some of them and know them by name is tantamount to walking around the officer's deck handing out gifts to officers who might have caught your eye. It fools those you set apart with ambition and audacity and makes them stand out among the rest. Enforcers are meant to be faced as servants, fighters ready to die, their fate entrusted to their commander, no one else. That is the foundation of order. Would you say Seneschal singled you out from your peers? Lord Captain, I swear Seneschal Westerian has never granted me any privileges, never once advocated for me nor facilitated my promotions. Although he is the man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place. He has offered me extensive guidance in my service, for which I am grateful to him, and while not all my fellows receive such attention, I know of at least a dozen fine officers whom the Seneschal keeps in his sights to ensure they continue to strive. To prepare new generations of dynasty servants, to instruct them and separate those potential from those who have exhausted it, that is my duty. This ship has bays worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, stewards, whom I have raised personally. By the throne, every third person standing on this bridge right now was a student at my point. I see. Evidently, my officers are anything but a shining example. My officers are anything but a shining example of unity and adherence today. I have only myself to suppose. Avalon, what do you have to say about all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided successfully by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my action for yourself, I have no objections. Let's go down and talk to him. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I'm greatly enforced unable to handle a situation which then led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot for myself and see the expedient resolution of this incident. Oh, so we're all going down. Gather my bridge crew? Why not? We're all going for a walk on the lower decks. Oop. Yeah. Half-blood reflects white sweat from his brow and startlingly human gesture, and a telling one, a moment where he shows his age and weariness to show his arm like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes the deal kept we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Yeah, that they were shouting your name. Of course they were. The organisation of daily routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders, and the mountains of challenges, of problems, which I endeavour to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on lower decks has been a cause for concern, and I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them, you are akin to a creature of legend, one who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less. Whereas I am a man whose name is attached to every order, docking rations, or lowering a base heating. Let's get moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. What have we got over here? Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material. This must be where the workers sleep between shifts.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Right, where are we going? Let's go this way. Lower deck rabbles. There's nothing over here. Doesn't look like there is anyway. Let's go this way. Aha, good greetings, you good grace. Everybody's stumbling at me. The sounds of heated discussion reverberate through the ship's space. Lieutenant Avelia Vent of the ship's enforcers by the path of her superior, Master Archicasta Sauerbeck, who has arrived clad in armour, judging by the expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time and has now reached boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is waived in. I have given you an order, now get out of my way. I cannot comply with the order, ma'am. This is my deck and my sector. As long as this area remains under Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorised to make me stand down. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears, Ablard mutters in a crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he meant Vent, or Sauerback looming over her, or both. Your Lordship, noticing the 2 officers snap to attention, their subordinates following suit. What is the situation? Your Lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Under control? I came here to lead an investigative unit, and what do I see? The Vab is on the verge of mutiny. There's nothing to investigate. It simply calls for immediate repressions and firing squads. And you, Vent, are a step away from facing charges yourself. We cancelled because of the way here. Conduct was outrageous. You even tried to throw things. I want to speak with the strikers. Well, right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. In here? No.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
A dozen pairs of eyes stare rapidly at you. The people before you typically have this lower decks. You take in the simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces play varying levels of mutation, from barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd. You take to a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, the 3 people break away from the crowd. An elderly woman and 2 men. These must be leaders. They bow clumsily. Lord Captain, you've come down to us. Tell me what's troubling you. Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your Lordship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet. So here's the deal, your Lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. They want to punish someone. They turn off the heating to whole base for a week at a time so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well within her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no feeling towards us. Your Lordships, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We plotted no disorder and went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Okay. The persecution started out of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you has found the possession of a cultist amulet, and there are heretics hiding here. A cultist amulet? What's that? The G-Draw they found on the dead drunkard. If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing the investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not. If there were, we'd be the first to report them. As for this amulet, whatever it was, they took it off the dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with. No one ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you. Seems to be these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots were really fine. There was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, well, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't know any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we're people of faith. Naive children. Weren't you taught from an early age that the dangers of the Arch Enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that unfamiliar object maybe could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was a long time ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector was just after I'd hit my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who you blame when beasts crawl out of the amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father, who is not here, there, or the scoundrel who brought evil down himself by our neighbours. We were attacked on the way down. There's no explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their... Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limits, and now they're lashing out. As if we didn't know why the top deck units have been sent down here, like the ones that the lieutenant won't let pass. Our clans are all inside that bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there's some people who've just about had enough. We're all getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up, and a death squad just arrived. No wonder folk are lashing out. Their words seem sincere. Their body language and glass shapes revealed that the news of the attack has shocked them. Anything to add here? I authorise use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in this sector. The specific steps taken by officers were not reported to me. Nonetheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They have an enemy threat to ship neutralized to my satisfaction. Was it necessary to torture these people with cold? The rabble understands only one language, Lord Captain, that of violence. As per regulation, should labourers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting their air supply and cutting off water, which is an almost certain to restore order. The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end, they are the source of their own misery, and they will have to bow their heads and fall in line. The need for punitive measures will disappear. Alright, what changes do you want? Would you look at this? Exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us Bildrats what we want. Well, here's what we want. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, quit turning off the heat, and stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists show their faces. I've been the leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old man. The 11 net maggots of the lower decks live without enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the day's out, we'll have some shooting their neighbour out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop harassing us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies. We'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there's any more of these damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder, all because we dared to speak out. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands will be even worse. What's more, these enforcers are needed to maintain oversight. Withdraw all those demands, and we will consider the rest. Old man, listen. The Lord Captain himself has come down and is offering concessions, and I don't know a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to the road trader, let alone talk to them. Backtowners, none of you be stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We made up our minds. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave against an old woman, but I'll shut up, I will, indeed. I won't go against you two clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great, fantastic, Lord Captain. We all agreed. Then it's decided persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets and weapons left by the cultists. Lordship, thank you. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. Alright. Of course, your lordship. We'll root out any nastiness faster than the enforcers and leave no stone unturned. Done. That was easy. A little bit of coercion and off we go. Lower deck rabble. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Abelard's not going to be happy. I have an urgent matter to discuss with Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Yeah, alright. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the destroyed rabble, you believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, the rabble will welcome it in with open arms and armed to wreak whatever havoc they like because they see you as a weak leader. Is that you see your future at the helm of the Von Valencia's Protectorate? I would have handled the situation myself and not decided to intervene. Remember Lord Captain Theodora? Do you ever think she set one slippered foot on the low decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dictated to herself the grandsons of the Protectorate. Any strategist and road trader ought. Maybe Theodora spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There's a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And I lost my Lord temper, and I believe I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Vlesa's Protectorate is not just an empty phrase. For me, I left the Imperial Navy for a chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life, and I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Road traders not simply forge new routes and capture worlds, they create order out of anarchy, and they create impulse that was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known, and I came from a very long line of officers, and I embarked on this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly everything had been built over the years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what's happening on the planet. And I'll tell you honestly, without fear of appearing weak, that all of this has come to grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving, because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by the tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades. Cannot suddenly seem to be excess to requirement. I understand you need to learn to respect me as your lord and captain and rogue trader. So plenty of sentiment hand-wringing in recent days, but very little competence. Prosperity and protection are just important to me. You're the only person who has comprehensive knowledge of things on the ship. I think I'll feature follow your recommendations. I can understand we need to learn how to respect as your lord, captain, and rogue trader. Accept it, start living in a new world. The world where Theodora is gone. Theodora trust is established since she died. Yes, Lord Captain. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I remember this moment should old habits creep back in again. Yay. And now please let's leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader decides to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. Oh, and we've leveled up. Let's have a look what we're going to do here. Take that one. No, I don't know that. We'll take that one. And as for you, we would definitely need weapon skill. And that one. Right, let's go back to the bridge. And get back out into the void. Okay, let's get back on this. And then we're going to continue to this prison asteroid that we were heading to. Prison planet, prison asteroid, one of the three. That. And we're going to take, all of our crew. And down we go. I think they said it was a prison asteroid when I looked at it. Yeah, prison planetoid. I knew it said that. Although I never said planetoid. Planet, asteroid, whatever it is. Planetoidy. It's all the same, there's little blue-green planetoids. Blue, green, and planetoidy. Right. Oh, he's like, came here, had that little yellow marker. Oh, looking for trouble. Okay. So this is for... I'm going to take sensory deprivation, and we're going to give her some more warp lore, because she's pretty good at that anyway. This is to hit. Oh, that's already locked in. Okay. I wanted ballistic skill. Never mind. Give her no heresy. Minus 200, fair. There we go. What can we give her? That's a good one. Okay. Enemies moved by navigator's power. No, it's stable. Whenever navigator uses a power veil. Okay. I do know what the veil degradation is, and I know what it does, so that'll be very useful. Okay. Ooh, we've got a box of stuff. Collect all, throw that on the ship.
I always have a backup plan. What do we have here?
Did I mention that my whispers tell jokes?
Captain, come in, escort. This is Captain.
Someone said aloud, make your eyes bleed and blood curdle. Talk about black comedy.
A pale young woman looks at you, a mixture of hope and disbelief. Who are you? Did you come from the planet? Are you reinforcements? Saints Teeth, I thought you'd never come. At once, sir. Captain Raquel Vahakeri, 7th of Half Winterscale, the pilot of this shuttle. It's an honor to be greeting his lordship. Okay, what's happened here? There's been a riot on the planetoid cell. It's being led by the Warden himself, the Honourable Antheon Castiglia. He has allied himself with the rabble that he was supposed to watch and declared Rakaidi Philia to be independent, the authority of the system's lawful governor. Oh dear. I came in a shuttle pilot alongside the Honourable Evin Winterscale, son of Calgios Winterscale, low trader, Bankshire Xenos forever triumphant over the enemies of humanity. Young Lord Winterscale wished to speak to the Warden personally so he could put an end to this lawless treason. He and his escort went ahead. I haven't been able to contact them for a very long time now. Evane. One of his distant younger offspring, yes. That much I knew about him, which means he hasn't distinguished himself in any meaningful way. Evelyn Winterscale has made several diplomatic visits to Iraq 5 on behalf of his father, rogue trader Calgos Winterscale. The great regent would have not granted entry to someone dishonourable, which means whatever happened in this terrible, malodorous place must aid this man of noble blood. Looking for a moment. Unless one of the prison guards seems unlikely, there are no shuttles in working order other than yours and mine. There's nothing else anyone could use to reach this place. I really felt the need to parley. It's a personal matter. Master Calglia, the seditious warden, is Lord Evelyn's childhood friend. When my lord heard of the riot, the news saddened him greatly, and he rushed here without delay in hopes of bringing his old friend to sense, no doubt. The first Winterscale in my memory prefers to talk first rather than shoot and slash. Young Lord Windscale is not his father's shadow. If he's determined to save his friend, he won't back down. I pray to throne that he's alive and well. He's been gone for such a long time, and I really don't like this place. Theobald executed his wife and the only son on mere suspicion of treason against House or Cello. Why would the noble Yvain rush to save someone who had betrayed his house? Do bonds of friendship give one the right to make inexcusable mistakes? Your lordship, have a minute of time. I wouldn't have dared to trouble you over the personal matter, but the situation... In any case, have you been to the capital, Rykab Manoris, yet? Just wanted to see a man there, but communicated by the name of Jasper. I have not yet been. Know nothing of this officer's fate. That's a shame, my lord. Been able to keep that fool from harm. Okay. What have we got here? Guard post is vacant for a long time. There's a layer of dust on every surface. Okay. Well, before we head on... That was dumb. Right, before we head into this place proper, we're going to leave that there. So again, hope you're enjoying the playthrough. And for the minute, I've been Cappadocia. Signing off.